Hi guys, today we'll be discussing about group communication under the subject professional communication and report writing. So group communication. Okay, so what is communication? So when people more than one a single people which interacts with another people, that is a single person which interacts with another person, that becomes a communication. And if it involves more than two persons or three persons, that becomes a group communication. Okay, so what makes a group? A group is a number of people, obviously. So why people communicate in a group? Because they have some common goal in the sense they want to give the speech, specify their thoughts, or go ahead. Okay, so that kind of goal can be considered. Okay, so types of groups. A dimension of groups is their longevity, whether they are short term or long term. This means that whether in a group or within a team, there should be unity, there should be trust, there should be the need to listen to everyone. For that reason, a dimensions of groups is the longevity, whether they are short term or long term. So another dimension is the significance to us, that is the group people and resulting frequency of interaction that entails. And the resulting frequency in the sense, whatever you interact, suppose we are four members, okay, we interact with each other, the four, so and we listen to each other, so that is the strong root of the group. Okay, the groups which are spend most of the time are such as primary groups, like suppose I'm a professor and you attend my classes every day, so we interact with each other every day. For that reason, we spend most of the time interacting in kind of group where we go in a classroom. And the secondary groups are those which interact intermittently, that is frequently, not infrequently. Like suppose there's a seminar, so within 2 months we can have a single seminar. We call upon some guest, he gives a seminar to you, so that becomes an intermittent communication. He comes within a month or twice a month. Okay, the three conditions that give rise to primary groups are primary groups in the sense which we do the communication regularly, not irregularly, regularly. A close physical proximity, that is the range, or you can call the level, not the level, the range. Okay, the small size of the group which makes face-to-face association and cooperation, like the class, which is a good example. And the lasting nature of the bond relationship, like that between wife and children. Also we can mention here the students and the professor, or the doctor and the patient, who is the patient is regular with the doctor. The secondary or peer group, it's also known as peer group, is characterized by less close. Okay, as I said, it's intermittent, that is it's less, that is infrequent. Provide pleasant human relationships, that is if I call someone a big delegate to give a seminar, that impacts you on your life, right? And you take the motivation from it and do something in your life from the next day. It happens. For that reason, pleasant human relationships. Sociability in ordinarily not their goal. Okay, so while primary groups are relationship oriented, secondary groups are goal oriented and much less cohesive. Cohesive in the sense unity. Okay, there might be unity only one day, because suppose if you make seminar twice a month or once a month, there might be unity one day, not the whole, not the every week. Primary groups are relationship oriented, like family, professor and students. Secondary groups are goal oriented, like if suppose I brought some the motivational speaker, then you get motivated for that reason to achieve a goal. For this that reason, goal oriented. Why do people join a group? People join a group for a variety of reasons, like group synergy, support and commitment, interpersonal needs. Okay, people join a group of variety of reasons, are motivated, since I said you in the previous example here, by task concerns, and other motivated by interpersonal attraction to other group members, like they are what they call who is your favorite motivational speaker, who is your favorite inspiration, that all. Group synergy. uh, Group synergy refers to the idea that two heads or more are better than one. For example, suppose in a football team, suppose two teams are there of 11 groups each. If suppose two people get the red cards, obviously if the two people get red cards, the match is cancelled. I don't know exactly, but if two people get the red cards, then we're remaining 9 versus 11, so that will be a problem, right? So the group team members capacity matters. For that reason, that two heads are better than one. You may also have read the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That is, the whole is greater, that is if we are the five people and we are better than the single persons of the five, right? Groups are often capable of producing high quality work and better decisions than an individual worker, like the construction worker, like the business team. Okay, like in the software engineering, we can have a development team, a testing team. Okay, the development team develops the software and testing team tests or checks before it goes to the customer. For that reason, group synergy comes into the picture. Support and commitment. A group may be more willing to take on large project that would an individual. For suppose if you got a construction project based on a bridge or a dam, so you cannot take it on your own. You have to make form a group which can listen to you, which can give suggestions to you, and also listens to you and go ahead without breaking anything from the root. Okay, the keywords are ability to perform work, encouragement, support to its members while working on a big project. Third one, interpersonal needs. Okay, individual often join a group to meet the interpersonal needs. Okay, for the reason is suppose there is a group in order to motivate or become a team lead. So in case of software industry, there is a team lead for every group. Okay, so that team lead determines how well that junior software developer or software developer is performing. Based on that, he'll get the increment. For that reason, interpersonal needs. The keywords are control is the need to exercise leadership and proves one abilities. Like I said just now, group provides outlets for this need. Some individuals do not want to be leader, like they can be in case of film industry, they can be they are some sort of supporting actors, so that they don't want to be the leader, but they want to support or push the newcomers. Features of group: cohesion, group size, power structure, group norms. Okay, the cohesion in the previous I said it's a unity, it's kind of unity. Suppose in your class you have a five friends group. Okay, there should be a unity, right? If there's unity, then that group can go to means it will be a permanent relationship. If there is no unity, then what's the use of forming a group? Two people will listen, three people won't listen, so then the group breaks into that two and three. For that reason, cohesion is the main keyword. A high cohesion and satisfaction generates tend to increase members' commitment to a group and goals. Like I said, you high trust, high unity tends to generate increased members' commitment and to group and school goals. In the sense, whatever group goals you want to achieve, you can achieve by having the unity and making a one decision and going towards the same path. Cohesion, that is unity, grows out of communication that builds up group identity and creates a climate of inclusion for all members. Suppose I have a three members group. Okay, I listen to the other people, the other people listen to me, and vice versa. So that becomes a single-minded person, a single-minded solution to a problem. At the same time, because cohesiveness, that is unitedness, generates a feeling of identity and involvement. Feeling of identity and involvement, that is whatever we speak, those listens, and whatever those speaks, we listen. For that reason, we have the respect to each other. Once established, it fosters participation, that is whatever we listen, they listen, so participation of all the ideas will come into the picture. It's the keywords are effective group communication, excessive cohesion, that is too much of unity can actually undermine some sound group work. Okay, they say that too much is too bad. For that reason, this is a sentence: when members are too close, they may be less critical for each other's ideas and less willing to engage in analysis and arguments that are necessary to develop the best outcomes. That is, if there is a trust, then for example, Sam trusts Peter. Okay, when Peter gives an idea, before evaluating by Sam, he doesn't, okay, we'll follow your idea, we don't know the outcome, but I trust you. For that reason, this is a sentence. Consequently, members do not critically screen ideas generated in deliberations. Okay, consequently, members do not critically screen ideas. Okay, some members, I think they take the ideas but don't think what will the outcome or how it will be generated. For that reason, this is a sentence. The predictable result is group outcomes that are inferior, that often fail. The predictable result, if you predict something which somebody has given an idea, it might fail or it might be a success. Okay, so this was the cohesion part. Next is the group size. Obviously, group this is the main aspect of the group size. Okay, the size determines the number of people in group, affects the amount of and quality of communication. Okay, suppose in a group of 5 people, each idea must be received and interpreted by 4 others, each of whom may respond with commitments that 4 others must receive and interpret. This is a simple self-explanatory. That is, suppose I and 3 are members, and if I speak, the 3 should be listened, and if those 3 speaks, all, and vice versa. That is, the third speaks, second and fourth and first should listen, and when the fourth speaks, third, fourth and first should listen, and they have to respect each other. If the first speaks and fourth doesn't listen, so there's a problem in the group. For that reason, it determines the group size, the communication, the interaction, the unity, the trust. Because participation is linked to commitment. That is, if whatever I speak, whatever he speaks is linked to commitment, whether he's giving the correct idea, whether he's following my correct idea. Larger groups may generate less commitment to generate group outcomes than smaller groups. Okay, there's a huge difference between smaller groups and large groups. With too few members, a group has limited resources. For example, I am in a team. I have given a task to build bricks. Okay, in a group we are having bricks and cement. We don't have the sand. For those kind of statement example, this can fit in the statement. which diminishes a primary value of group decision making. Okay, suppose since I said we don't have the sand between the concrete and the brick, so the third person starts to fight with me that we should have the sand. How can develop this construction without the sand? So that sentence specifies here. So this is the group size. Power structure. Power is the ability to influence others to reach their goal. Suppose in my group one person needs motivation, so I motivate him. I give the example, I give my personal example, so I motivate him a little bit of 10%, 20%. For that reason, each group should provide the power to each of its group members. That paves the way to take the groups to a much more longer journey. Group norms. Group and synthesis, the rules to be followed. Suppose when I teach you in class, no students takes the chocolate and eat, right? He either he eats the chocolate after the class or before the class, but not during the class. Okay, so that is the rules we need to follow when there is a communication in the group. So that is, in a shortcut way I explained you, there is the group norms. So these are the features of a group. Next, potential limitations, strength of groups. Limitations, for everything there's limitations. Okay, for this groups also there's limitations, and there's a positiveness, that is the strength. Limitations, the two most significant disadvantages of group are time required for group process and potential of conformity pressures to interfere with high quality work from groups. Okay, the time required, if there's obvious thing that time is required to trust another person, right? So that trusting takes a long time. For that reason, it makes a group bond much more strong, depending on the time how they trust each other. It takes substantial time for each person to describe ideas, clarify misunderstandings, and respond to questions and criticisms. This is an obvious self-explanatory. Groups also have the potential to suppress individuals and encourage conformity. That is, if I said my idea, the other person can can do can take my idea and do in a better way. For that reason, and also predict what will be the outcome. For that reason, suppress individual and encourage conformity. Members have ethical responsibility, that is the rules. The ethical responsibilities etiquettes to communicate in ways that encourage expression of diverse ideas and open debate about different viewpoints. Ethical responsibility, since the way to communicate, the way to speak with, the way to talk. Strength, that is the positiveness. The primary potential strength of groups is comparison to individuals are greater resources. That is comparison to individuals. That is, if you compare with another, you come to know what he is, what he gives the idea, what is capable of. More thought, heightened creativity, and enhanced commitment to decisions. A group exceeds any individual in the ideas, perspectives, experiences, and expertise it can bring to bear solving problems. This is self-explanatory. A group exceeds any individual in the ideas. A group in a group, one member can have two or more ideas instantly when a problem needs to be solved. So that makes the group much more stronger. Groups also tend to be more thorough than individuals. Okay. Suppose there's a situation, if I want to race a car, I want to build a car. So if I do it individually, it will take time, it will take much more of resources. If I do that with with a team of 2 or 3 members, then I can achieve the building of a car in much more short period of time. So that example is relating to this sentence. So this was about the group communication. Okay, if you have any doubts, just message me, and thank